welcome back to the command line for today's episode. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you what we can do to find differences between two specific files. So I'm going to go back and open up our good old friend the terminal here, and I'm going to go to my desktop where you can see I have these two files, just to show you that I'm at that location. There you can see test1, test2. Right, so now if I decide to show test1, do a cat command, you can see we have line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. If I do a cat of test2, you'll see we have line 1, line 2, miss line 3, add line 4, have line 4, 5, and then added line 6, which is not in the first one, okay? So I'm going to just clear this for a minute, and the first command I'm going to run is the diff command. Now diff stands for difference, and it has a bunch of different switches, right? So if I just do test 1 and test 2 here, what it's going to do is going to show me the differences between these two files. Whenever I hit enter, you'll see that we have one, the first file, which is what's pointing to there, the file on the left hand side, has a line 3, but the file on this side has a line 6. Okay, now to make this just a little bit easier to understand, I'm going to add the -U switch in here. It just makes things a little bit more user friendly. So when I hit enter on here, you'll see that there's the two files. There's some information there about the items which have been changed, and then underneath here it gives you an actual good breakdown. So I could say, right, if I want to see only the differences between the two files, it's going to immediately say, yep, the first file has line 3, but it doesn't exist in the second file. And it's been removed from the second file, and this one down here has been added to the second file. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Next thing I'm going to do, and let's do clear here. So that's the difference command. Next one I'll show you is one called the common command, and that one is more to show you what specific files have in common, right? So if I do comm, which is the comm command, and I do test1.txt and test2.txt, let me show you or explain to you what is going on here. So the first column will show items which are unique to the first file, right? Second column are lines which are unique to the second file. The third column are lines which are found in both files. All right, so this is again pretty helpful finding out the differences, but you can also suppress some of the output here. So if I wanted to say, all right, let's not show column 1, for example, so don't show what items only exist in the first file, but definitely show what only exists in the second file, and show what the files, what lines the files have in common. I can just hit enter on here after doing -1, and there you go. You can see we've cut out that first column. Now we only show these two, right? If I only wanted to show what was in if I wanted to show what was in the first column and the third column, I could enter 2 there, and it removes column 2 and re-adds column 1. So there's column 1 from up here, and there's column 3. All right, so what if I wanted to show only what the two files had in common? Okay, I could do this, and there you go. It just picked the third column and compressed up that missing line for a moment, and you can see that both files have in common line 1, 2, 4, and 5. Okay, now I can also, if I was so inclined, I could just show only the differences between the two files by getting rid of the third column. And again, there you can see line 3 for file 1, line 6 for file 2. All right, so pretty straightforward there. I'm sure you'll agree. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is I want to come back to this diff command, because it has some there's some couple of cool things we can do here. So I'm going to do that same diff command again. Diff u test1 test2, and there's the output we've come to expect. All right, so now let's say that I only wanted to find items which exist in the first file but not in the second file here. All right, so there's a couple of things I can do. The common command will do this, but just to show you how diff will do it, if I push up to go back to that same command that I ran just a moment ago, and then add the pipe command. Now you may remember that pipe, from our discussion of the terminal a few weeks ago, takes anything which is before the pipe and then pushes the result into whatever it is we're going to put here next. And then we're going to do grep to do a search, but not just any search. We're going to search at the first character, which is what this little character here means. Then we want to search for a minus sign, okay? So only things which exist in the first file. Now we can't have a minus sign there. We have to escape it, which is what that slash does. Now if I hit enter, there you can see, right? Line 3 is shown. It also shows this bit at the top as well. So next thing I want to show you is, let's say we want to get this out of here. All right, well, first of all, we could actually run something to get rid of this item right here. I'm not going to bother with that right now because I don't want to bore everyone to death. But what we can do is I can go back to that same command again, then do a second pipe and use what's called the cut command. Now what the cut command will do is that it will remove certain items from the output. All right, so if I just did cut-c, and that's a column, right, I can say that I'm gonna only, if I want to show 1, all right, hit enter, you can see it's only showing the first item from the output from above. Okay, if I wanted to show 2, right, it would show, there's the L for line and there's the second dash up there. So I can do that with any number of different items here, right? I could do it with 5, and it will show you there is the T for test right there, and there is the E for line right there. Now, one of the cool things is I can do 2 and dash, which means 2 until, and then we're not going to finish it off, right? We're just going to leave it how it is. So whenever we do that, this is what happens. Yes, there's our header again, which we're going to want to get rid of. But look, line 3 now has no dash in front of it, okay? Now, what's cool is that we can also go back here and change this to plus to find items which are only in the second file, all right? And there you go. There's the item which is in the second file there. So there we go, giving you a couple of different ideas of what you can do in terms of finding differences between different files, different outputs, and things of that nature. All right, hope this is useful to you. Join us next time.